Okay, so as you guys heard, Erika has joined us. We're doing it's like we were just telling Erika we had to stop the recording, start the recording to all get oriented. But this is the most perfect guest ever for our 200th episode. We're going to be celebrating with Erika, who's a standing guest on the pod and a friend of ours now. And probably to all of you, feels like she's a friend to all of you. And we're going to be digging into past, present, and future, which feels like a nice big theme to celebrate 200 episodes.
Do you know what else I just realized?
What?
We said, hey, we should get Erika on to like talk around. Well, we had been talking about it a little bit like over the last month. And we said, we should get Erika on around like, doesn't it feel like we should have her around on to celebrate sort of around the 200 episode mark? And we're like, yeah. So I reached out to Erika and I said, do you have any availability over the next month to do? And she gave us this date. And it's like, absolutely 100% perfectly in line with the 200th episode.
Yes.
And so it was like universal alignment that's just happened to be her availability.
Yes.
That worked out. Like it's just, it's divine timing. You're meant to be here. Okay, so if you don't know Erika is our as Colleen said, she's our friend now, but she's also like for work. She is a spiritual medium. I have had a couple of private readings with her. Colleen has had a private reading with her. And then we've had her now. I think this is like
the fourth
time on the show. She also has spent a bunch of her heart and soul and time and energy creating this beautiful course. I'm not sure if you'll talk about that much today or not, and I think enrollment is closed, but a course on diving deeper into your intuition and being able to feel more connected to your guides and to yourself and to the universe and anything. You guys, if this is your first introduction with Erika, you will fall in love with her soul the way that we have, and so we can do let people know about your course at the end because I think it might be closed for now, but I wanted to make sure that people knew about all the ways that they can work with you and what you've been, the tapestry that you've been coloring has been so beautiful for a long time, but you just added this other layer to it. So welcome, Erika.
Yeah.
Back to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me. This is like my favorite place to be. And it's so cool because, well, first of all, Ashley, you posted about my course and that is you've been such like an amazing support and friend. So I think that's so cool too. Cause like when people listen to a podcast, they don't know if the people that they're listening to are really how they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love listening to these two women, but like, how are they really? And both of you are truly how you are on the podcast, just kind, supportive. And so thank you for posting about the course that I did that I worked on for a year. So that meant a lot. And I'm so happy to be on the podcast. This podcast means so much to me. It means so much to me. And whenever I do a reading and I ask people, how'd you hear about me? And they say, you can sip with us. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. You guys have such amazing listeners and devoted. And,
we do.
It's really, really cool. So I'm happy to be here in this wild ride time we're having in 2022.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Is it feeling wild to you, too?
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels wild. Like it feels like, okay, we just came out of a pandemic. Things are supposed to be settling. And it feels, to me, the energy feels like less settled than it was in the pandemic. It feels like we're still all flying around in a tornado.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was just me.
No, it's so accurate. And nothing can be the same again. We are changed. Everyone is changed. We are changed as a collective. We're changed as a consciousness. So many things have changed. And that doesn't necessarily mean bad. It just means that what used to be, we are no longer comfortable with, right? So for me, what I'm seeing is people every day are just like, I can no longer work at this job. You know what I mean? Or I can no longer live in this city, or I can no longer, not reveal to my family who I really am, or there is so much discomfort. There's so much discomfort. And so people are searching and they want to find a way to be free.
Yeah. Yes. That's the thing, right? That is exactly it. How do I set myself free? I want to feel
And
free.
the only way we can do that, because very rarely do, and I read for people all over the world, right, in every walk of life, it is very, very, very rare that I read for someone that should blow up their life, right? And just be like, you know what? Fuck it. This is shit. I'm done. Can I say that? Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is shit. I'm done. I'm out. Like, I'm going to blow it up, right? It's very, very rare, right? Even on a small scale, some people are like, I want to quit my job and, decorate homes full time, right? A lot of times it's like, whoa, 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 right? You need that because that will feed the other thing. And also, the way that you get clarity and the way that you get free is to, number one, take your power back, right? We are giving away our power left and right? We're saying, oh, the job is just terrible and it's breaking my back. Well, guess what? That job has now become your guru. That's your master. We're giving away our power. That job is now your guru. That is you are worshiping to the God of that job. Or, these people aren't nice to me, or my family is terrible to me. Well, guess what? They're your masters, they're your guru. So we're giving away our power. So number one, if you take your power back and say, I'm in charge of my path, I celebrate that I have an ability to create my own happiness, my own freedom. You take your power back, right? I am creating everything I see in my life. And then you say, what do I want it to look like? And you start to create your vision. What do I want it to look like?
Yeah.
And not how you're going to do your vision. Just what do you want it to look like? So I just worked with a woman who wants to buy land in Colorado to have a glamping site, but she's so scared. She almost couldn't say it, right? And so the idea for her was to just visualize it. So I told her, visualize waking up and pouring a hot cup of coffee and walking around Colorado and walking around your property and seeing the morning dew and just smelling what it smells like in the mountains. And her energy started rising, her vibe started rising, and she started to create her vision, right? And then what happens is we go, but how? But when? But am I good enough? But I don't have the money. But when is that going to happen? And all the worry, doubt, fear, timing, details. So the third thing you have to do is surrender. Surrender all of the worry, anxiety, doubt, and fear. And that's the tough one. But if you believe that God and that spirit and that universe and that your angels and that your ancestors and that your loved ones who've crossed over are big and powerful and beautiful and they're supporting you, if you really believe that, you will truly go into the belief that that power is so much bigger than you worrying about, the exact way you're going to get to your vision.
Okay, so
boom.
I love that.
Boom. Well, I think we can just wrap it up now. That was like the most epic couple of minutes ever.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta go pick up my kids.
And that's a wrap for episode 200. Erika, Ashley and I were talking about the 200th episode and what we wanted to do, and we wanted it to feel big, and we thought, like, well, it can't get any bigger than having Erika on, who could tap into our past, present, and future. And everything that you just said, I feel like is so good for the present. Like, let's reorganize it. We're going to do present now, past, and then future, because everything that you just went through, I was like, oh my gosh, like how timely for so many people right now who are feeling this angst, or maybe are just feeling the change of a season from summer into fall. I don't know if anyone else is sensitive to seasons, but I'm feeling it a lot right now. Not necessarily in a bad way, just in that moment of change. And then,
which no one is surprised by, because you are intuitive. You are, right? We know that. We've learned from Colleen that you're connected. You feel those
deeply.
Things. That makes sense to
me.
And
it's like maybe just, I'm also just very sentimental. And so even the leaves changing and all of the things. But I love this vibe for heading into this fall of fortitude, of power, of strength, and not letting us get swept up in the winds of the times. This is all really beautiful, and I'd love to just keep this conversation going. And so is there anything like that people could do? Because I feel like I'm talking to you right now, and then someone books a reading with you, and they're like, yes, and they're feeling super motivated. And then a week goes by, a month goes by. How do you keep the fire burning? And like how I feel right now and talking to you about it, like how would you recommend people can take the Erika wheels off and fuel themselves heading into fall?
That is such a cool question. Well, there a couple things come to mind. So sometimes we shouldn't be on fire, and we just need to honor ourselves. And sometimes we're pushing so hard and we're like, but I want to feel that. And we start to feel bad about ourselves. And then it's counterintuitive. And we're like, I suck. I was spiritual for a minute and now I'm not. And this is terrible. And it's like, no, it's not. Spirituality and feeling really great sometimes does come in waves. And that's okay. We're like sponges, right? Sometimes we need a minute to digest and just absorb it. Not every time is similar. Right? Like sometimes I go home and rewatch Emily in Paris. You know what I mean? I just no, I'm good. I just want to chill. I don't want to read the spiritual book on my bed right now. I need to just be, and that's okay. So I think part of feeling inspired and being spiritual is truly honoring yourself and honoring downtime or honoring if you just need a break. That is so valid. So I would say honor yourself.
How do you know what you need? Because sometimes it's like, will I feel better if I organize another drawer, or would I feel better if I set it all aside and relaxed in bed? Like, is there you know what I mean? How do you get better in tune with your own compass and with your own soul?
Well, it's interesting because that was the next kind of part to answering your earlier question. I think, when you're feeling super inspired, sometimes we think I feel so good and I'm going to change my life. I'm going to do Erika steps. I'm going to take my power back. I'm going to get my vision and I'm going to surrender, right? And instead of, making a commitment to yourself that you're going to sit in a corner and say Om for, 15 hours a day, which is so unattainable. Choose something small. Just start with something small that you commit to, right? So a small commitment would be, and to answer your other question, it's kind of a two-part answer to both of your questions. The way that you know how you're feeling is to get juicy with your own intuitive voice. How do we get juicy with our intuitive voice? We start to hang out with our intuition. How do we hang out with our intuition? We quiet our mind. Or you take my course, and that's what I'm teaching in my course. But that's side note. But the idea is you go into your intuitive voice, and when you connect with your intuition, that's where a lot of your answers lie, and that's where you can connect with your spirit guides and your angels as well. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So set up some small commitments, just small ones, right? So you could set an alarm on your phone for 3 times a day. That's it. And when the alarm goes off, you put your feet on the ground and you close your eyes and you take 5 deep breaths, right? So I always tell people, you breathe in, your stomach goes out. Big breath, starting down in the gut. And you fill your ribs and your lungs and you go in. And then when you exhale, you drop your shoulders, you unclench your jaw, you relax your face, you elongate your spine. And you exhale. And then when you breathe in, you do it through your nose, right? You kind of fill up. And when you exhale, you ground down. And you would create a vision that resonates with you. So I have 2. One, I have a vision of a candle and I focus on the flame. That's it. I just look at the flame. I don't think about anything. I'm not trying to get anything. I just think of the flame. My other vision is of a tree. And I see the wind hit the tree and the leaves rustle. And I just do 5 breaths. And then I get up and I go on with my day. And you just start to get juicy with nothingness virtually.
Ooh,
and what
I love
happens?
it.
That feels so doable because I feel like like I hear over and over and over again how important meditation is. And even I just talked on this pod recently about that I have an intention to meditate 10 minutes a day because this neurologist was like, it is one of the most important things you can do. But sometimes I get overwhelmed because I'm like, me sitting for 10 minutes and trying to have my brain quiet is what sometimes I feel like I don't have time, which I know is when I need it the most. But then I just feel like it's so noisy and it's hard. But I feel like anyone can do 5 breaths while, multiple times a day, and picturing a candle, like the flame flickering or the leaves blowing. I feel like that feels so much more manageable.
And I love that imagery, the cloud or the candle and the windy tree. And then I wanted to add, it's almost like taking you to a place of serenity quickly. But for me, I was like, I'm going to think about clouds.
I was
love
about to
watching
say
clouds move. And I've been teaching Ben about watching clouds. That's what we've been doing together for like calm time. That's so nice. I'm literally going to start that today.
I am so
what
happy.
a nice. Yes, I love that.
I have transferred in what I do the idea of meditation into visualizations. And I'm just going to let that be, and I'm going to let that sit there. I love meditation, but I'm not going to quantify it or justify it. I'm just going to say visualization. And I'm just going to leave that there because the mind is inundated and unbelievably active, and we are inundated with visions. Everything is so fast, electric. Waves are going through our homes and everywhere. I love technology, by the way, so I'm not, one of these people that live off the grid, although I think is very cool. But, and I think a visualization, something for the mind to focus on, is very, very powerful, and it does quiet it. So I would just start there to answer your question in a long way. Just start with something small and commit to that. So whether you're tired or not feeling particularly inspired or spiritual, just have a little commitment to yourself. And then what happens is when after your 5 breaths, you're kind of like, ooh, I want like 2 more breaths. And maybe, you do it at a time, or maybe you're about to go into Target and you're feeling overwhelmed because like you, Colleen, you're a sensitive person. You find when you leave Target, you're super drained and you don't feel that good, right?
Yes.
So maybe before you go in, you kind of ground yourself down in your body a little bit and you take some deep breaths. And all of a sudden, this becomes a little bit of a practice where you have now found a way to bring your spirit back to your body and just go back to what is and what's real, which is this incredible force and this incredible calm that resides within you. And you can go to it anytime you want to feel peaceful, to feel calm. And then to go back to your question when you're going, do I want to sit down and chill or do I want to go and, be busy? And you go, I don't know, let me check. Oh yeah, I definitely want to do that drawer. You know what I mean? It's just like a moment, you kind of
taking a beat. Yeah.
Taking a beat. And I think back to the earlier part of our conversation, as you take your power back, you're not giving your power away to the organization of your house. You're taking the power back. I want to organize that because that feels really good. Not because I think I have to be this, goddess of whatever, domestic goddess, this outside pressure.
Yeah. Right.
I also feel like that slowing down, a lot of us, I feel like the clients that I work with and myself, so I just feel like it's a humanity thing, feel disconnected from ourselves. Like I can't tell you the number of times people are like, I don't even know what I like anymore because I do everything for everybody else and I'm constantly like checking boxes and going through the motions, that it makes sense that you would not even be able to trust yourself to be like, do I want to clear the drawer or do I actually want to rest? Because you just don't have that relationship with yourself where you can trust your inner knowing. And so I love that is just like a simple thing really to like repair your relationship with yourself, like that inner knowing, which I mean is intuition, right? But like
the cool thing is too, when you get back to your quiet and your intuition, and this is a little more advanced as you go deeper, but in your intuition, then all of a sudden, that's where all the divine wisdom starts to come in, because that's where your guides are. That's where your angels are. That's where your loved ones who've crossed over can really connect with you. That's where, you can connect with God, right? Because a piece of God is within all of us, right? God is not some gray-haired man that's judging us on a big throne, in quote heaven, right? Yeah. God is a collective and is within us, right? So you can connect with universal life force energy within yourself. So the devotion of quieting the mind and going within is a devotion to God. So if you want to be spiritual, take some deep breaths. Doesn't that sound silly? But it's true.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Therein
I
lies
love
the
it.
secret to life. Quiet your mind.
Okay, so
Oh my gosh.
we've unlocked the answers to the present. We thought it would be cool if you're
Yeah.
game. Like, people are listening to this episode, and you do this on your Instagram, which you should shout out your Instagram, because I feel like that's a great hub for people to connect with your podcast and your classes when they come up and everything. So could you shout that out?
Yes.
Spiritual Medium Erika, but shout it out.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's at Spiritual Medium Erika. I do lives on there, and we do card pulls, and I have random bouts of intense God inspiration on there. So, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a no judgment zone. So, join me on there. And also, little side note, beware of fake accounts. And I just want to say, guys, I'm not DMing you asking to read for you. I have like a massive wait list, so I'm not like, hey, want a reading? DM me money. Never, ever, ever, ever. I don't work that way. So just beware of those scammer accounts and just follow my one true account at Spiritual Medium Erika. And I can't wait to see you there.
And it's ERIKA.
Yep.
And yeah, beware of the scammer McScammersons who are not in tune with their inner divineness. So we thought it would be cool, if you're game for this, to share the collective reading for our listeners to celebrate this 200th episode, to celebrate being in the present of what is the message from our listeners, the collective spirit guides of our listeners and everyone listening to this episode. What does the greater collective of our listeners need to hear?
Okay. Well, everything thus far is pretty good.
Well, she's pulling cards right now, everyone.
Good. And
This
just
is so exciting.
just so you guys
I feel like it should be like the ESPN of mediums, where it's like, I wish there could be a video cam of you doing this right now, and then it's like the river, the turn card, like.
Oh, I love it.
I know.
Yeah. There's like a narrator. Well, really quick also, just so you guys know, I don't consider myself a psychic medium, so I'm not pulling psychic cards. I'm asking my guides to really just reveal some information through the cards, just so you know.
That's a good question that I feel like maybe you've probably answered, but I don't know if I know. So what is the difference between like a spiritual medium and a psychic?
Yeah,
medium?
I mean, so what I'm doing right now is I work with high vibration spiritual guides on the other side, and I am mediating information from the spirit world, right? Psychics can read things about your energy that can tell you things about your past, present, and future. So what I do, if past, present, and future information come through, I honor that. If past lives come through, I honor that. If a loved one who's crossed over comes through, I honor that. I honor what spirit brings to me, because I truly, truly believe with every ounce of my soul that what comes forward in a reading is what's meant to come forward. And I trust spirit wholeheartedly. And same goes, like if someone asks me a question in a reading and I don't hear an answer, I say, I don't know. I'm in no way trying to get anything right. I'm just mediating the information, you know? So here's what I got. So first and foremost, what I got from my guides, a huge part of what I got from my guides is timing. We are all so incredibly anxious, and we are trying to manipulate time so much. I need this to happen now. When is this going to happen? I am so anxious. Is this going to happen? There's so much anxiety on timing. And so a huge part of what this lesson is about in 2022, as we spoke about, we're so dissatisfied with so many things right now. We want change. We want it to move forward. We don't know what the timing is. So much of the message moving forward is about surrendering, right? Surrendering the minute details, getting your vision together. Stop trying to control the timing. The other message too coming in is If you see something that you really, really want, be about it. Meaning, if there's something you really, really want, you must match that vibration. Meaning, say you want to be, I got to get a good example. Okay, hold on. Say you want to be a writer. I'm going to make something up. Here we go. Making it up. Say you want to be a writer, but you don't really believe you're good at writing. You're scared to write. You never write, and you don't believe you're going to be a writer. You're not with that vibe. You're not in that vibration. If you want to be a writer, get your vision. Get your vision of you getting the box in the mail. You got your box cutter. You open that shit up. It's got your name on it. You're like Instagramming, here's my book, people. You're about it. You show up for it. Every night before you go to bed, you're writing ideas in your journal. On your weekends, you're like typing ideas. You're writing. You're having fun. You're writing shit and then throwing it away because it's crap and you don't care. You are vibing as a writer. You're a writer. You must match the vibration of the very thing that you want. Show up for your vision every single day. Like attracts like. So you have to be the thing you want, even if you don't have it in that moment. And that's the timing thing that I was talking about. This is the manifest. Everyone's like, manifest your dream. Manifest. Manifest is not feeling like crap and sitting on your couch. Manifest is creating the vision and showing up for it every single day. So that's a huge message for the collective. I hope that helps. I got a couple other parts, but what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I was just talking to Colleen. I don't remember if it was Patreon or here, but it was like a week ago, where I was saying I feel like when I was, at the height of my career so far, there'll be another peak that's higher than the last, but so far, the height of my career, I was so high vibe, I believed anything was possible, right? And I gave the example of like when we started the show, I was like, Glennon Doyle's going to know who we are, so we're going to be on her. Like I just believed everything was possible for me. And when I started life coaching, John had some fears around the pivot financially. And I remember saying to him, well, if this doesn't work out, it's going to be something else. Like we're going to be fine. I had no fear in my bones or my body, anywhere in my energy. And then 2 years have gone by where, things haven't like taken off. It hasn't happened on my timeline. And I notice my energy, like I'm much lower vibe now. And so then of course, I don't see as much of the magic that was happening when I was higher vibe, but I'm still the same person. And so the only difference is I'm not matching the energy of where I want to go. And I think I used to believe anything was possible for me because when I believed that, things would happen that seemed impossible, right? And now I've been a little shaken and I just got to get back to that high vibe energy because that just feels better. Even if nothing wonderful happens, like when you believe anything, like anywhere you're going to get the best parking spot, or you ever meet those people that are like, oh, she's so lucky, she wins everything, right? It's like, yeah, because that's the way that's the vibe she's living in. Like, she's not lucky, she just operates at a higher energy frequency. And so what you just said was really powerful connection for me, because I think that's where I've been missing. I haven't been matching the vibration of where I'm going.
Well, and also like, because you got some fear going on, your vision is starting to get a little fuzzy. So get your vision straight. What do I want? What does it look like? What do I want? And then feel those feelings. So like for me, I'll tell you this, Ashley.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, baby, let's do this. Like,
I just got goosebumps for you,
That's how powerful you are, right? So like, I want to talk in this way, but for large groups, right? In person. God forbid, in person. And so when I think about that, like, I'm like, but how? How am I going to get there? I can't write a speech. How am I going to do that? Like, that immediately starts coming, and my guides go, whoa, let's go to the vision. And so my vision is this. I'm backstage. I'm sitting there. I look super cute. Okay. And I'm sitting on like a stage, like a box, like a black box. I'm just waiting, and I can hear people in the audience. and a stage hand with like a mic. He hands me a mic and he goes, "Are you ready?" And he hands it to me, and I just look at him and I go, "Yeah, I was born ready for this." And he hands it to me, and I get up and I like walk onto stage, and I just hear all the people, and I feel so good because I know I have a message for them and it's going to help them. And I just hold that. I just hold it. I hold it. And then I go, "But how?" And I go, "Doesn't matter. It's not your business, girl. It's not your business how. God's got it. Vision, 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 vision. Stop with the how. Stop with the anxiety." And I think the vision is very important. And so for you right now, Ashley, vision, vision, vision. What's your vision? Don't worry. Don't worry.
And that's the other thing I realized, I haven't visualized like that in a long time. When you gave the example of the woman creating glamping in, I think you said Colorado, and you're like, picture yourself waking up there with your cup of coffee and you're walking around your land. And I was like, when was the last time I did that? And it was way before I was six. It was when I very first started, like first building. And I remember visualizing my house and like the color of my countertops and what the view was out the window, and like living in the reality of having created freedom, you know, when I was still working at the corporate job that I was working at. And I have not done that since. So this makes so much sense that my fear has been getting loud and noisy because I haven't been doing the grounding work of visualizing.
So your fear.
That's such a powerful connect. I wrote it down twice. You said always go back to the vision. When fear comes in, always go back to the vision.
Because fear is becoming the master.
That's huge for me, and hopefully some of you guys listening.
Fear is becoming the master, and you're going to just grab that by the you-know-what and just take a hold of that, and you're going to move on from that. And you know what? You want to be a life coach. So that you're doing it to yourself. You're going to be about it because you're going to do it with yourself, and then you're going to teach people how to do it. So what if this time wasn't negative? What if what you're going through is exactly what you asked for? You asked to be a life coach. So universe is like, okay, you ready? Because we're going to show you how to do it for real. You ready? And you're going, for real. You want to learn how to work through fear? Let's go. We're going to give you 2 years of fear. You want to hurry it up? Let's go. Get the fear. Yeah.
Right.
And you want to know how? Call Erika. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but seriously. Yeah.
Oh, this is so good. Okay. You mentioned there were a couple other cards for our listeners that came up, or a couple other themes.
So we've talked about power, vision, surrender. We talked about letting go of timing. We've talked about not letting fear run you. And then I just want to give you a little kind of cool thing that came up in the card, because I want you guys to know you're going to be okay. You're doing great. Good things ahead. You got a beautiful butterfly card, which is a card of transformation and breaking through. So if you're in a cocoon right now, you're feeling uncomfortable, it's yucky, you used to be a worm or whatever, a caterpillar, and now you're in some yucky cocoon, you're uncomfortable, you don't know what's happening, you will break out of that. And you will soar and fly. I mean, think about being a caterpillar or a butterfly. Like, that is such an amazing transformation. You're going to be okay. You're going to break through this. And, you know, you are not stuck. And what's happening that seems so big right now is not the end of your story, my friends. This is not the end of your story. This is a moment in time. Break out, break through, and soar. Get ready for a big breakthrough. This is a time of transformation. We thought it was 2020 or 2021. It's a little bit of a longer transformation cocoon, but you will break through and all will be well. So I wanted to bring that up.
Oh, I love that.
I heard this thing that the butterfly, when it turns from a caterpillar, goes into the cocoon, and then it emerges as a butterfly. It's not like the caterpillar morphs into the butterfly. It like melts down into goo. It becomes like goo before it then becomes a butterfly. And we're just in the goo phase, guys. We're just gooing it up. But that's like a part of it, right? Like, we're just in the goo, but that's like meant to, and then we become the butterfly. The butterfly.
We're about to have a big glow up.
Ooh,
we're gonna have a major glow up.
I like that.
So good. Okay, anything else for our collective audience?
Well, it was funny because we talked about we talked about letting go of, the details because they're not always up to us and working on the vision. And one of the cards you got was, I release the need to know all the answers. And that's such a cool card because we're not going to know every single thing. And you know what's so cool about that? What if something even better that you ever imagined happened? Leave room for magic and miracles and joy and a fantastic way that things will go. Something that kind of brings up this card, and I really want to give you guys this visual. Have you ever seen like a celebrity leave a hotel? Like they're going to the Met Gala or whatever, and they like come out of their hotel
Yeah.
and there's like photographers and fans and whatever. And they just walk out and like they're so perfect and they're just like, oh, looking good, whatever. And they have bodyguards and the bodyguards are like pushing back all these people, but the celebrity is just like walking down, like not a care in the world. They just see they have the limo,
Totally
right?
cool.
They're not worried about how the bodyguard is holding off the paparazzi and the people. They know where they're going. They're getting in the limo to go to a fabulous party. They're not worrying about how the limo driver, the route the limo driver is going to take. They're not worried about that. They're not worried about how their publicist is going to get them down the red carpet. They know they're getting in that limo and then going to a beautiful thing and looking good. They have their idea. They have their goal. They're not worried about how the bodyguard is shuffling off the people, right? So the idea is how the universe is working, your bodyguards, right, is not always up to us. We don't always know the answers or the details of the magic of the universe and how how our guides are working, how our angels are working. We don't always know those answers. But it's our job to stay focused on our visions and our goals and show up and just look fabulous. Glow up.
Yeah.
I think that is the perfect transition into glowing up, or like oh my gosh, I just got this. Okay. Present or past and future. So we just like really dug into present, the collective reading for the audience, but I'm thinking we can kind of mesh together past and future. And I was thinking glow up. I was seeing this like I've seen this asteroid because I just saw this funny meme on Instagram. Whatever is this dinosaur joke, and it reminded me of like this past vibe. Whatever, this is not anything. That's whoa.
Are you okay? Are you
so
okay?
Let's put. Yes, I'm okay. I am okay. It was like this big mishmash of asteroid visual of this joke meme for a dinosaur that I saw for Ben yesterday. And that was the only thing that I could see, but there was no way to transition it in here. So let's dive into past and future, which I think we can kind of blend together, because you mentioned that in your practice, it's not always a guarantee that something from the past is going to come up or past lives are going to come up. So we thought it would be cool to tap into Ash and I, if possible, and see what does come up. If there's any info that our spirit guides bring forward around our past lives, ancestors, things of like where we've come from, or anything of where we're headed. But we can kind of blend those together for each of us. What do you think?
Based on what comes
Yeah.
through. Yeah.
So are you talking about past lives?
If it comes up, because
We
it could be. Ash and I were talking about how cool it would be to tap into that, or like know if we had any, but we don't want to put the pressure on if it doesn't come up.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you what's popped for me before. So first of all, you know how people are like, oh, he's an old soul. You know what I mean? That's everyone is an old soul. We've all lived kind of eons, right? We've all had kind of lived eons, and we don't know why other people are here, so be nice. You know what I mean? Like someone may be on their last life, so they just have like I have a friend that like practically walks on water. He has like the most amazing life in the world, and I always joke that he like was dying on a street corner in a past life or something. Like he seemingly has like he actually does kind of have a perfect life. It's kind of hilarious, and I love him to death. But we don't know what he came here for. He may have come here for one tiny nugget. So everyone comes here for different reasons. I just want to say that. So so know that. But I will tell you something I saw on a past life on YouTube, and then I'll go to Colleen. But Ashley, I think it's your little nephew. Yes,
Callan. Mm-hmm.
I have seen you two together before. Do you feel a special connection with him? Because when you called me about him, I felt like he was some connection to you from past that wasn't in this life, but you guys have already lived lives together. You didn't need to kind of learn from each other in this life, but y'all decided, you know what, we'll be kind of near each other in this one. Isn't that interesting?
Well, you had said, because I asked you last time, and the squad remembers this very well, and Colleen will never let me forget.
I don't remember what I read about.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had said, like one of the first times we met or talked, that you've seen me with 3 babies, and 3 babies in my arms, not like miscarriages, not dogs, but like 3 babies in my arms. And then I asked you, did I screw up fate because I had my tubes tied when I had Mac? And you said, well, sometimes, like, if there is a spirit that's meant to be with you, or a soul that's meant to be in this life with you, they will, and if they thought that there was this path, they'll find another way. And then you asked, like, did Callan come quickly? Was he, and whatever. And he was a surprise baby and very fast.
No recollection of this.
And you said,
you can delete this later.
Yeah, you said stay close to him.
No,
it's good. I mean, it's the
strong.
fact that it's coming up again for you.
I think also too, like for me, when I read, I disconnect from the messages because I don't want to carry other people's messages with me, and I really do that on purpose, actually. So, so I think it's funny that the same message I really like when I prove myself right. You know what I mean? It's awesome. So that's interesting for you. And, I think for you, Ashley, it makes sense. And I think with you in this life, you obviously have, kind of this healing element that you're tapping into, and this healer's element. And there's, part of that also went with, childhood stuff and having to kind of fight your way on your own in some ways, right? So you had to find your own way to feel confident in yourself. And, with you comes this kind of purple heart energy, which is that of, a white lighter, a helper, a healer, a bright light, right? So sometimes white lighters and helpers and healers can also get sad and melancholy because it feels like, gosh, I have a bright light, but the world is so dim, and we kind of struggle between light and darkness a little bit. But, it's clear that you're here to serve and to help people. So it's important for you, you're being called to be this life coach. It's important that you say, you know what, this is my birthright. This is part of the reason why I'm here. And I'm not going to let fear stand in the way of that.
Yeah.
So what I feel like when I see someone's a white lighter and that they're here to help, and, we talked about past lives, and the question was in past lives, for me, and what I feel with that is when someone comes here in an elevated state, right? So you're really working with people that want to elevate their consciousness, right? You're not like with people that are really in the horrible shit, maybe they're just in the lowest, saddest spot in the world, right? And maybe they're sad, but I'm saying they're really looking to take their life to the next level, right? It really shows me that in past lives you were working, deeply with very troubled people, and you came to work in a very high vibration way to tip the scales of light and darkness on the planet, right? And we all can do that in our own special way. You're a bright light. So in the past, what I saw more with you was like working in the medical field, working in as a therapist, working with very, very intense very intense things, like even working with kind of like people that were just on the street, but not in our times, right? We can incarnate at all times. We can incarnate in modern times, past times. This would be like in past times, or like abandoned people, children, things like that. So you've worked as a helper in many, many, many different lives. In this life, you're like, can I do it in like a shinier way? I've kind of
Not so,
done a lot, right? So our soul lives for eons. We evolve in a certain area, and you have done a lot of work helping people, and you are kind of coming in as more of a master helper in this life. to really elevate people to their fullest potential. So you've worked in health, in medicine with really, really struggling people in the past in various lives. So take what you have, take the desire you have and run with it. It's what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh, that's so fascinating. Yeah, someone asked me last week, like, what makes you happy? And I was thinking about when I was the happiest was when I was when I felt like I was most grounded in my purpose and the message that I was sharing. And it was, the anti-diet body positive message. And I feel like my message is sort of shifting right now. Of course, still be body positive, but like I'm sort of shifting. And so I'm floundering a little bit because I want to teach.
Yeah.
I feel like I healed so much and I gave myself so much freedom. And then I was able to teach people how to do that. And I'm now, I got put into a new pond where I'm learning the waters again. And I don't feel like I really know how to teach yet because I'm still in the midst of the lesson. Mm-hmm. So I think that is why I've been struggling a little bit more, because I do feel best when I am grounded and rooted deeply in this is the message I'm supposed to be sharing. And I don't know exactly what that is yet, but I'm working to figure it out. But I just had that insight recently that like, that is when I feel the best, is when I'm able to help people.
It makes so much sense for your soul's path. You're a helper, you're a healer, you're a light worker. If you continue to focus on the idea, I am here to serve. I have served for many, many lifetimes. I have served in all kinds of ways. And now I'm here to serve in a very elevated way. Right? Does that make sense? I mean, I don't want to call people that are like, very, very troubled, anything more negative, right? But you're helping people that are taking where they are, they have the luxury of taking everything to that high level, right? Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's almost like maybe I was helping before in one of the things that was coming to mind is like in an acute way. Like if I was a doctor,
or
here's
even
your illness,
serving
here, I'm treating
food
it.
and
at
like
point,
actual like
yes, or some
emergency.
Right. There's like here's the problem and here's the solution. And now I almost feel like what I'm doing is helping them. It's almost like I am helping them elevate their consciousness and learn their power. Instead of like, here's how you no longer starve, it's really about like the mind.
Master, you're coming in.
Right? So it's like more pulled back.
You're coming in as a master teacher. So that is your birthright. Whether you choose to step into that in this life or not is up to you. And that's going to be up to you. But that is your birthright. You've helped many, many people in the past. You're continuing that work in a different way now. Step into that. But I see all kinds of ways that you helped in the past. Like hands dirty in the dirt helping people. Really. Through many different lifetimes and many different eras. So step into your power and go, go, go.
Yeah. Okay.
So
interesting.
Here we go. Did that all make sense? I know it's very high level. Okay. So, Colleen. Okay.
I feel like it's going to be good.
No. It's, it's interesting with you because, a lot, it's interesting. Everyone has a different path. And, is there something else? So you have your work and you have your podcast. Are there other things that you're very drawn to?
Yeah, my family. For sure.
Yeah. And what was interesting and what I was tapping into, listen, you have high powers of manifestation, whether you're aware of them or not. Everything you wanted and everything you've asked for, you have. You wanted love. You wanted your healthy kids. You wanted this podcast. There's friends. You have your house. You have like, whether maybe there's other things that you're like, ooh, wouldn't that be nice? But the things that you really focused on, you have achieved, right? So you have big abilities. Like you have, you're a witchy woman, basically, right? You have these really cool powers of manifestation. A lot of the things that you've asked for, you have. And it was interesting. I asked your guides, I'm like, but why does Colleen come in this life? And I heard love. I heard love.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, is she going to be able to accept that message? You know, like, can she accept that? Because she may want me to say, like, you know, something else. And they said, no, she'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, love. She came to this life because there was many lifetimes where she was not accepted. She was ostracized or cast out.
Whoa.
And she needed to feel love and acceptance. And it doesn't mean you don't have other things that you're exploring and experiencing, and you're experiencing your spirituality and success at work. And, you know, there's a lot of choose your own adventure in your life, which is beautiful. But you are here to feel and experience love. And, you know, I feel like the word witch is mutilated and we think of Halloween, like, you know, and a broomstick, right? But back in the day, maybe witch was more like a healer helper. They would have medicine. They were like medicine women. And when we lived in like groups and communities and villages, right, they were kind of cast out and they were ostracized, yet everyone went to them. You know what I mean? Like everyone went to the oracle. Everyone went to the quote witch, right? But they were totally ostracized from our society and our community. So when I said witchy woman, you know, I'm being serious. You know,
I love that for me.
Yeah. Yeah, right? So and in this life they are just kind of manifested in this very cool way. And you can manifest in a very cool way. So whatever you want to see show up in your life, start working with manifestation. Start reading books on how to manifest and what you want to see. But I feel a lot of lives of ostracization. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Ostracization, is that a word? Just work with me, people. Just pretend it's a word.
Yeah.
But being
We
cast
get it.
out, being ostracized for your gifts. Being ostracized, and now you're welcomed, you're accepted. So you came to this life for love and to feel love and to feel acceptance, and you are getting it big time. So anytime you get lost, go back to love. Anytime you get confused, go back to love. Anytime you feel worried, go back to love.
I love that so much. And like this morning I was telling Chris, you know, because this is, Erika, this is the last day that I have of maternity leave. I start work again tomorrow. And I was cuddling Ellie this morning, and then even earlier I was snuggling Ben before he went to school. And I told Chris, I was like, in my happiest moment, I'm cuddling my kids.
That's the best.
Like there's nothing else I need, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's not just them. It's that the connectedness of love. It's not just that I depend on my happiness, you know, in that way, but it's just that it feels like the pinnacle of love in those moments, you know? And so maybe it's this deeper thing that I never connected, of this realization of my purpose, which is very cool, you know? Or when like Chris and I are together, like traveling or on date night, I feel that same way of like, man, we are just, and maybe that's why I love experiences with people that I love. Or like I was telling Ashley when she was visiting, she showed up at our house to celebrate. And it was like, those are the moments that I live for, is when there's just, it's a love fest, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome.
But now I can say in actuality, this is what I'm living for.
Yeah.
I am living for it.
Yeah.
Why I'm
It is
here.
achieving
Yeah.
my purpose. It's
Yes.
just, but I want to give it as much as I receive it, you know. And I think in terms of manifesting something, and I'm just talking out loud, but I'm thinking once I get through this chapter of once Ellie's a little bit bigger and I have a little more time, is creating ways to help others so that they can also love a little more, you know, if that makes sense, like charitable work, things that I can do. Yeah.
It's interesting too. Oh,
I feel like that also, I was going to say that rings true for one of the things that Call has brought to the pod many times is the romance of life. talking about like the life's little moment, right? Like the right song and making pasta from scratch and enjoying coffee in the early morning outside, right? Like the romance of life. And when I think about you, Call, I think about that, those little moments that a lot of people see, it could seem mundane or they take for granted, and you find the romance or make them, you know, like you guys bought this espresso machine. And so now your coffee is a romance of like, it's just, and that all is perfectly goes together with I am here for love. Like even in these little tiny moments throughout my day, that's so cool. And you are giving that, right? Like I've told Colleen before, I feel like your kids are the luckiest to have you because they're all these little magic moments, these little moments that they just feel immense amount of love and joy, and like, it's really cool. So I feel like that's feels so fitting, and can't believe we didn't put that together before. But it's good to have the confirmation that that's why you're here and you're doing so good.
That's awesome.
The soul and spirit stuff is fascinating.
I love it.
Like I think about like, so, you know, the queen just passed away, and it's like, where's she going to be in her next life? Right? What was her, she chose that body for that experience. Right. And I also think about like, I said the other day, something about like, you know, where's Albert Einstein now? Is he and my husband? Is my husband, right? Like who, all these people that like, they're still somewhere. Maybe it's not on this planet though. Maybe they're not in another body, but like, what if this person that we're always talking about, Einstein, he's just my neighbor. He just lives right over there. He's in this body now. Like it just, the soul thing blows me away.
I have yet to meet a famous person.
How many experiences we can have.
Like having an incarnation. Like I've never read for someone and been like, oh, you're
really?
Marilyn Monroe. Like I've never had it happen.
Oh,
never.
right.
Never had it happen. I've never had it happen. I've seen all kinds of things, you know, but I've never had that happen.
But they've got to, like Marilyn didn't just die and then she's like, okay, I'll just be a spirit forever.
But
she's got to be
maybe
somewhere.
she's like, I'm done. Also, think about this. Time is so different in spirit. Time is not the same. You know, time is different. So who knows?
Okay, speaking of that, what are your, and I've been dying to ask you this question. What do you think of the NASA images? Speaking of time is not the same.
It was of Mars, right? Or what was it of?
The ones that apparently show like the beginning of time. They're like, have you seen these? I'll send them to you.
Yes, I did, but no. I did see them, but I didn't retain the information of what they were of. They were like amazing, and
they're like from 13 billion light years away, or something like that. And so it's a modern marvel to be able to have captured these, and like hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions, I don't know, have gone in to capturing these images that because they're so far away, they're from the very beginning. And it's like it's been a total mind-blowing experience for people who know a lot about space. But and I just was thinking about you because I was like, oh my gosh,
I'm all, what is it of Mars?
This past, present, future aliens, like, whoa. You know,
I am so inundated every day with images. I saw the images. I was like, that's beautiful. Look at space. But I didn't retain. So that's embarrassing. Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys.
No, but I think there's just, it's like this feeling of, oh my gosh, there's so much that we don't know, you know, like it's just bigger than our wildest dreams, this experience of life, you know?
Yeah.
Agree.
I was talking to this guy about like a repetitive dream. Sorry, we'll wrap up in a minute here, Erika. I was talking to this guy about, do you have any repetitive dreams? And I have this dream that I can fly. And it's usually that I'm being chased and I'm, you know, something's happening. I'm being chased. And then I think, oh, okay, I just need to fly. And then I just do these leaps and I don't have wings, but just my legs. And I'm above, I'm not like soaring in 30,000 feet. I'm just above the treetops or the buildings and they can't get to me. And this guy I was talking to about that is like, yeah, but do you ever think that sometimes your dreams are actually like something your soul is experiencing in a different, right? Like your soul is not just in Ashley right now. It could also be in another, right? And like that could be actually what your soul is doing at that moment. And it had never occurred to me that my soul could be in another place than just inside of me right now. but that time is not linear and time and space is like this whole thing. And it's really cool to think about stuff
Oh,
like
totally.
that, you know?
And I
I
like
don't know.
to what Colleen was saying, so agree. So much happening we don't know and we're not supposed to know, or else we'd all like be like, that's okay. We're gonna go back to spirit. Bye. And we're supposed to be here, right? We'd be like, bye. This is too weird, right? So much happening.
Yeah, this kind of
Yeah,
sucks here.
like, we don't want to do
back.
it. So
Yeah.
yes, there's so much happening. And then with what you're saying, I do believe in astral jumping, which is we're jumping into other realities in our dreams. Not all the time, but sometimes. And everything is happening all at
Whoa.
once, right? I used to astral jump, and then I would wake up and be like, I'm so tired. Please let me sleep. Like, I do this work all day. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. But yes, everything is happening all at once. So if you think about if time is a circle, like if you go to a historic site, you can't see it, but it's still happening there. You can still feel it there. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes things aren't haunted, but we're just kind of like in bumping into history because it's a circle. So time is everything happening all at once.
Sometimes I am still that witch.
nice.
I am right now still that witch.
Yes. Yes. you
Exactly.
currently
And
actively
that's
are.
why in this
Yes.
life you're so amazing at manifesting and your soul is healing itself from previous lives. And that's why Ashley is continuing her path as a helper. But she's done all kinds of healing and now she's choosing to do a different kind of healing and helping.
Wow.
And me, I'm just
This is-
stuck as a medium
This-
for all of eternity.
You are just stuck as the best. You are the best, and you'll always,
the
you
thing
have
is,
been
like,
and
we
always will
need-
be the best.
Yes. And we need this because I feel like without you and people like you, I wouldn't have the awareness that I do, right? I would just be having a fully human experience. I wouldn't understand that there is a higher consciousness and that there is purpose beyond this and that I chose this path and these people and this experience. Like I feel, I think about that a lot. You know, what's her name? Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks, where she's, you know, we need those people to let us know that don't have those powers, that there's a whole other world and a whole different way of thinking about things. So like I, for one, and I know Colleen for two, and then the squad for 50,000 are so grateful for you. Like,
Thank
we're
you
so
so
grateful
much.
for you.
I'm
You are
in
just
so
the
much
best.
gratitude for both of you and your squad.
Erika,
Okay, so we talked about your Instagram. And then is your course closed or can people hop in late? Like
So my course
tell us
started yesterday.
how they can work with you.
It started yesterday. So wait, let me
my
ask you this.
gosh.
When will this be on?
Okay.
Tuesday of next week.
Tuesday.
So yeah,
a week
so
from today.
today was so we're during week 1. So next week is week 2. But if you feel like you want to catch up, just email me at Erika@erikagabriel.com and we can totally work it out and just extend yours a little bit. It's work at your own pace, so you'd be fine if you want to join in. You totally can, but just email me so I make sure that we can catch you up really easily. But yes, yesterday was the first day. Unlock your intuition and meet your spirit guide. It answers so many questions that people have had over the past 15 years that I've been answering questions for people. And yeah, my Instagram, my website is erikagabriel.com, Erika with a K. And I have a podcast too.
And that is where they
So
would book
yeah,
a
if you
reading,
want to book a
if they
reading,
wanted,
just
right?
email info@erikagabriel.com. And Jenna will get you on my wait list. And I have a podcast called You Are Not Alone. And I have 3 seasons, and you can go back and catch up if you're wanting to check out a spiritual podcast.
Erika, thank you so much for coming. This hour, time flies.
It always
It does.
Yeah. Well, time is irrelevant.
Yes.
We just discovered
exactly.
that.
Well, I
But-
had the best time as always with you both. I
This-
love you
yeah.
both, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, really.
Love you.
We love you back.
Yes.
Thank you so much for celebrating our 200th episode with us.
Congratulations. You guys are amazing. That's incredible. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing it with me. I feel so lucky, really. Thank you.
All right. That's
just
that.
close it?
Yeah. You guys
So you can sip with us
always.
always.
And we will see you
we will see
next
you
Tuesday.
next
Bye.
Tuesday. Bye.